Was this the guy who gave you the formula for the time machine?
That's the man.
And what form did the formula take? Did he implant it in your mind by telepathy, or did he give you something written in English?
He spoke it to me verbally.
And you remembered this?
There's nothing to it to remember.
Will you tell me now? The formula for a time machine.
F equals 1 over T.
F equals 1 over T.
F being frequency and T being time.
And this enables me to go back to the time of Caesar's armies conquering Britain.
Well, it would enable a mathematician to work this out, yes.
In this lesson, we will create a class of psychedelic kick from the formula F equals 1 over T, frequency equals 1 over time. Imagine someone has just been killed. What does it sound like after the point of death? A time interval, T, after the point of death, is the sound of a frequency, and using F equals 1 over T, frequency equals 1 over time interval. 4 seconds after the zero event will have a frequency, a quarter hertz. 2 seconds after the event will be a half hertz. 1 second after will be 1 hertz. A fifth of a second after zero event frequency will be 5 hertz. So we can see there is going to be a smooth frequency curve rising to infinity seemingly fast in a human perception context. So we have got a free computer program like Goldwave that allows formulas to be input by using the expression evaluator. After a lot of intuitive thought, and George Van Tassel, with his contact from a being from another world who gave him the formula F equals 1 over T, frequency equals 1 over time, it's really the rate of change of the expression we need to input for amplitude. In old academic circles, amplitude equals sine of 2 pi times F times T, but this is for a constant frequency. But our frequency is changing, so we need to take the integral of the frequency function. So our new expression is now amplitude equals sine of 2 times pi times the integral of f with respect to time. Luckily, there is a simple solution for the integral of the formula. Frequency equals 1 over time with respect to time. The integral equals log t, where log is spelt ln, and is a natural logarithm involving the transcendental constant e, the exponential number, not to be confused with log to the base 10, which is written as log. We will discuss this elsewhere in depth. So this is Goldwave. File open, not file new. We make a new file of 2 seconds long. Go to Tools, Expression Evaluator. This is what we want to type in, sine of 2 times pi times log of t. Close bracket. Okay, there's an error there because we haven't done initial t equals 0.0001, you know, because it goes to infinity. So we need to go 0.001 for initial t. Just sounds like a click. So we need, that's too narrow. We need to multiply it by a factor, but we'll save it anyway. Give it a name. Psych-kick 1. Okay, we'll do another one. We'll multiply by a factor of a wider one, of 8 times log t. Error again, we forgot to put in initial t equals 0.0001. Okay. That's sounding better. But we've got to EQ this to boost the bass to follow the power distribution, so that the amplitude equals 1 over frequency. Anyway, we'll go back to and do another one. We'll change it to 13 times log t, factor 13. Forgot to do it again. Okay, 0.0001 for initial t. Yeah, that's sounding fatter. But we've got to EQ it. Okay, we'll save this as Psychic 13. We'll go to a workstation later. Okay, we'll do another one. 27. Change it to 27, factor 27. 0.00001 for initial t. Okay, that isn't a kick, that's way too wide for a kick, but we'll save it anyway. Psych kick 27. Okay, this is our wave editor. We'll open our file. We want to make a reverse kick as well. Okay, we're going to EQ this later. We're going to boost the bass, but we're just going to clean it up a bit. And we're going to, it's 138.652 BPM, the piece, so divided by 60 seconds is 2.3109 Hertz. And 1 over that, F equals 1 over T, is 0.4327. We want to get that exact to the beat, this reverse kick. And double that is 0.8655 seconds. So we've got it exact on time with the beat now, of the tempo of the piece. So we're just going to fade it out at the end, so there isn't a click. Save. Okay, reverse it. And we'll save this as a reverse kick. Just call it Psych Kick 13 Rev Reverse. Okay, we'll put it back to normal again. And now we're going to make a double point. Instead of decreasing from infinity, we're going to cut it off. We're going to make a double point, like an event point. We're going to cut off the tiny bit at the beginning when it comes down from infinity, just to have a different type of kick. That's a bit too low. We'll try it a bit sooner. So 0.8655 divided by 2, halved and halved and halved again. Quite a few times is about. It's about. About 0.013. That sounds a bit better. That's a different type of kick we've got now. So we'll save that as Psych Kick 13 dot point 1. Okay, twice that. It's about 0.011 or whatever. Yeah. That's a different type of kick now. .2, we'll call that save. Okay, this is our workstation. We'll load up some samples of our kicks. Okay, we'll add on four beats boost the bass, bring the high frequencies down. Doesn't seem fat enough, so we'll EQ it now, bring the treble down. It's clipping a bit, we'll sort that out. Okay, we'll do the double point kick now. For the one where there's an event, and the event a split second afterwards is one where it's sounded. That's double speed. Wasn't intended, but it could be used. We'll have to EQ it now in the same way we did for the other kick. Okay. Just mess around with the EQ now. Bring the high frequencies down, boost the bass, and make sure we cut off at 0 hertz, because I don't want the amplitude to be too high for the rest of the parts.
Time machine you're building down in California.
Well, Jack, this was the result of a formula which was given to me by a man who landed a ship at my airport in 1953. And we put this formula under research, tested a number of experiments on a bench in a good electronics lab in Chicago, and we produced phenomenal results with evidence that we should do it on a larger scale in order to be able to do more with it. And this evolved out of something that started in 1953 into a 4-story high machine that we're working on down there today.
A time machine. What does your formula tell you you can do with a time machine?
Well, Jack, our formula has no time factor, which electronic formula does have.
You have done experiments which show you can bring the past to life. Where did this formula come from?
I love that Scotch accent. Jack, the formula came from a ship that landed at my airport in 1953 on August the 24th, which had 4 people aboard it that came from another planet.
I'm breathless.
Well, you're not only breathless, I was breathless.
But I'm cynical, too.
Well, that's fine. That's the way to be. In fact, I'm a bigger skeptic than you are of many things.
I'm an unbeliever. Convince me that this really happened to you.
Well, this thing is very similar to a thing that happened in our biblical records where a Lord presented Moses with a pattern to build a tabernacle. They came out of the sky, they handed him stone tablets, and this phenomena that's taking place today is as old as our history, as our civilization. This isn't anything new that's occurring. It's something that's being continued in another time of crisis when conditions affecting the people of this planet are reaching a point where somebody has to take care of the situation.
Now, I know the details of a man who says he has seen creatures from another world.
Well, actually, Jack, this was as simple as crossing a street and getting hit by a car. After it's over, you're the victim of the circumstance. And I didn't see the ship land. One of my son-in-laws, that wasn't my son-in-law at that time, saw it come down. Another man on the airport heard it, and he wasn't where he could see it. And the man got off of the ship and approached me before I even knew there was a ship down.
Where were you then? What time of day or night was it?
It was 2 o'clock in the morning and approximately a full moon, which is like daylight on the desert.
Were you walking about outside or what?
No, I was sound asleep when he awakened me.
This man awakened you?
Well, something awakened me.
So you got up out of your bed?
I got out of my bed and went aboard the ship at his request.
This man, in what language did he converse with you?
He talked to me in the best English equivalent to Ronald Coleman.
And he met you there and he said, what did he say, come with me to my ship, or what?
No, he said, I asked him what he wanted because we have a lot of people come in stuck in the sand and broken axles and whatnot. And I asked him what he wanted, and he said, my name is Solganda, and I would be pleased to show you our craft.
Solganda?
Solganda.
Was the craft visible to you at this time?
It was when he stated this, I saw beyond him the ship, which I hadn't seen before.
What did you see?
A bell-shaped type of anti-gravity ship that they operate as a scout ship out of their big carriers.
How big?
This was 36 feet in diameter and 19 feet high.
And where was it, on the ground?
No, it was hovering 10 feet off the ground.
And how did you go into this ship?
I walked with him to a spot underneath it, and an anti-gravity beam took me up through a hole in the bottom of it.
You're telling me at 2 o'clock in the morning in Giant Rock Airport, you walked underneath this hovering ship, and whammo, you went up inside.
No, you didn't go whammo. You went just about as slow as a local elevator run.
And when you got off the anti-gravity elevator, what did it look like?
I was inside of a ship about 18 feet in diameter and roughly 10 feet high to the domed ceiling, and there were 3 men on the ship, besides the one that had got off and invited me aboard.
You keep calling them man. What do you mean, man?
Well,
Little green man?
They were about 5'6". They came about to my eyebrows, and they could have walked in our clothes down any of our streets, and we wouldn't have paid any attention to them.
And did you bring any proof off that ship? Were you alone in the ship?
I was alone with the 3 men until the other fellow came up behind me, and then the 4 of them were aboard.
Were there any other earthly eyewitnesses to this?
Nothing, only outside of the ship.
And these people stayed outside?
On the airport.
And did you go anywhere in this ship?
Not to my knowledge. When I got off, it was the same place it was when I got on.
What do you mean, not to your knowledge? Had the door closed when you went in or something?
I don't know, because it was below the deck.
And did these people tell you where they came from?
They didn't say where they came from, but I've been in the air game since 1927, and their instruments were unlike anything I'd ever seen before.
Well, don't give me technicalities. What was different?
The difference was that we used dial instruments, and they used vertical instruments, like fluorescent tubes with marks on them.
What color were these people?
The instruments were marked in symbols similar to hieroglyphics. They were not in any language or number system we use on the Earth.
What color were these people?
They looked like they were white people with a good, healthy tan.
Did they give you any indication of how old they were, or what they ate, or where they came from at all?
After we got off the ship, the man who invited me aboard, who didn't look a day over 28 years of age, told me that he was over 700 years of age in our time.
Oh, come off it, George.
That's right.
Was this the guy who gave you the formula for the time machine?
That's the man.
And what form did the formula take? Did he implant it in your mind by telepathy, or did he give you something written in English?
He spoke it to me verbally.
And you remembered this?
There's nothing to it to remember.
Will you tell me now? The formula for a time machine.
F equals 1 over T.
F equals 1 over T.
F being frequency and T being time.